Here we are, the final LitReel of 2025, and I thought I would use it to showcase some of the books that I've read this year. Now, that doesn't mean that all of these books were published this year. In fact, almost none of them were. But here are some of the most interesting, memorable, or at least notable books that I read for the first time in 2025. I started the year as part of my Year of Superman project with Philip Wiley's novel Gladiator from 1930. The book is about a man who is given incredible strength and speed thanks to a series of genetic experiments conducted by his scientist father. It's believed that Gladiator was one of the inspirations for Siegel and Schuster's Superman. It's a very cynical book, which is very different than the Superman that we know, of course. The main character seems to spend most of it somewhat directionless, just kind of wandering through the world, not sure what he's going to do with his life. I can't really give this one a serious recommendation unless you're reading it for historical curiosity like I did. This year I also finished Cixin Liu's Remembrance of Earth's Past trilogy with the final volume, Death's End. Concluding the series that started with the three-body problem, this is really one of the best science fiction series I've ever read. It's highly imaginative, it's vast in scope, and it goes places I never would have anticipated. Netflix, of course, is adapting the trilogy as a television series, and I will be very interested to see if they keep the ending of this book or if they go in a different, more traditional direction, because if they keep what happens in the book, it's not going to be like anything you've ever seen on television before. I read Edward Ashton's Mickey 7, which was adapted into a movie starring Robert Pattinson called Mickey 17. Guess 7 wasn't enough. The story is about a man who takes a ridiculously dangerous job on a space mission, secure in the knowledge that even if something happens and he winds up getting unalived, all they have to do is copy his brain and clone him a new body to bring him back. The problem comes when one of the clones survives the mishap that they thought unalived him, and he comes back only to find that he's already been duplicated. Now there's two of them walking around. It's funny, but like most great sci-fi, it opens up some very interesting philosophical questions, in this case about the very nature of self. I'm becoming a bigger and bigger fan of Grady Hendrix, and his novel Final Girl Support Group is one of the reasons. The book is about a group of women, each of whom is the survivor of very familiar-sounding psychopaths. And then to their terror, they all wind up becoming targets again. Funny, scary, and very heavy on the metafiction and commentary about the state of today's horror movies, this is a really good read. Then there was J.R.R. Tolkien's The Silmarillion.
All right!
Yeah, I'm just kidding. No one has ever finished The Silmarillion. But I did finish Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, another science fiction book, this time by the author of one of my favorite books, The Martian. Something is slowly killing Earth's sun, and a desperate mission is sent to another solar system in the hopes of finding a way to save it. I hate to say it, but I think I might like this even better than The Martian. Despite the very dark setup, this is a very funny, very hopeful, very optimistic book. Plus, there's plenty of real science in there, but it's presented in a way that even a chucklehead like me can understand it. Read this one before the movie comes out. Matt Singer's Opposable Thumbs is a nonfiction book about the unlikely partnership and even more unlikely friendship between the two great movie critics, Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert. Kids, ask your parents, but when I was young, Siskel and Ebert were the most famous movie critics in the world. Their reviews could make or break a movie. If you've ever heard anybody rate something by giving it 2 thumbs up, they took that from Siskel and Ebert. Opposable Thumbs is a great look at their history and their legacy in a world where the changing landscape of movies probably means that there's never going to be critics that influential ever again. Now, there are 2 books that I mentioned in videos back in Halloween that I want to bring up again briefly just because they were really good and I read them for the first time this year. One of them is We Have Always Lived in the Castle, the last book by Shirley Jackson, which is very chilling, very messed up, and very good. And then there was Ashley Cullen's Your Favorite Scary Movie, a history of my favorite horror movie franchise, the Scream films. Again, both very good books. If you want more detail, go back and look at my old videos. I also read a couple of comic books this year. Let me mention a few of my favorites, most of them Superman related. Ryan North and Mike Norton gave us Krypto, the Last Dog of Krypton, the story of Superman's dog. It takes us on his journey from Krypton all the way to Earth and the many adventures he has before he finds his boy Kal-El again. The story is told entirely through Krypto's eyes. North is one of the best writers working in comic books today, and this book is deeply emotional. If you're the kind of person who cries at dog movies, have a whole box of tissues ready for this one. I read it in miniseries form as each issue was coming out, but if you're looking for the collected edition, it's scheduled to be released on February 10th. W. Maxwell Prince and Martin Morazzo gave us Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum. In this one, Superman finds a series of kryptonite in strange different colors, and he starts experimenting with the different rocks to see what each one of them can do. Prince and Morazzo are best known for their existential horror series through Image Comics, Ice Cream Man. Kryptonite Spectrum is very different for them. They maintain their bizarre metafictional storytelling style, but they trade in the horror for something that's more upbeat. The story is kind of a spiritual companion to classics like All-Star Superman, and I feel safe in saying that in a few years, it's going to be put up on the shelf there right next to it. If you want to get the collected edition of this one, you're going to have to wait until April. Sophie Campbell relaunched Supergirl this year, no doubt because she's got her own movie coming out in June. In this new series, Supergirl moves back to her hometown of Midvale, only to find that there's another Supergirl already there, causing some problems for her. It's a lighthearted, incredibly fun series that really delves into the concept of found family, as Supergirl builds a community of very unlikely friends throughout this series. It's fun, it's charming, and Campbell's art style is absolutely perfect. Finally, if you're one of those freaks who doesn't like Superman, I'm really enjoying Jeff Johns and Ivan Rice's Hyde Street from Ghost Machine and Image Comics. Hyde Street is a strange little community full of vile, manipulative people forced to corrupt the souls of others and the whims of a mysterious game master. It's a format that allows for a lot of different kinds of horror stories while still having an ongoing plot of its own. Anyway, these were my favorites of the many, many books that I read this year. So I'm asking, what are your favorite new reads of 2025? Drop them in the comments. And kick off 2026 by reading a new book. Maybe something like, I don't know, here. How about this one? The first of my Seagull City novels. It's got superheroes, comedy, adventure. Give it a try. Okay, Andy, what do you want to tell these guys?
Hi,